And we are live.
Hi,
Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to another Inhumanoids Live. I'm your host, Bart Nunley. Sitting right here beside me, as always, your co-host, my beautiful wife, Letitia.
Hi, everybody.
Can everyone see and hear us okay? Just drop a yes in the chat. So this is our first night doing this by ourselves, so we hope everything runs smooth.
Chris is coming in. She's just going to be coming in a little late. Brandy's a little sick tonight, so we need to send some prayers to Brandy. She's not feeling well. She's got a real bad migraine. So, all right. Everybody says they can hear us. Thank goodness.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We sure appreciate it. We love all you guys. You guys are great. We have a fantastic show lined up tonight with an amazing guest that I think you're really going to enjoy the truth that this man has to tell everyone. So before we get started on that, hope you're all having a good night. And Letitia, you want to do the prayer request, honey?
Yes. So tonight we have prayer requests for Gina Cook, Mark Staten, Vic and Virgulati, Sam Burton, Sherry Griffey, Trey Hood, Cowboy 4572's wife Cindy, Scott's life's daughter Megan, Josh and Nellie Turner and the whole PRT family, Krista Tweedy and her family, Brandy Butcher and her family, Matt Impsch, Catherine Gay, Brother Heck, Heather Ann's friend, Spilling Tea with Spunky Sparky, and she also said, please pray for, Heather Ann said, please pray for her family as well. They're going through some hard times right now, so send prayers to Heather Ann. Sandra Key Ward said, thanks for all the prayers for her husband. He is cancer-free now, so thank the good Lord for that. And thank you guys for praying for him so hard. We really appreciate it, and so does she. Angela Bennett, Dewey Edwards. He had some tests ran today, and we're hoping that everything comes back good on those. Jenny Brown and her family. Timothy Roan's brother, Kevin, has terminal cancer, so we need to say some prayers for him.
Lift him up, guys, please.
Yep. Trista Myers, her stepdad. Auntie Honey's friend, M. Key and family. Hawk, Mindy Masters' friend, Eddie. Louise Shiflett, which is the sister of Lloyd Davis.
Shiflett.
Yes. I'm sorry. The sister of Lloyd Davis. They all need prayers. I also have a few more on my phone that I didn't get to write down. Mickey G said, please send in prayers for all that need them. Hang on just a second. Tyler Oliger says, prayers for all the animals and people in need. He prays they have a happy and good life and lots of abundance. Angela Bennett's been struggling with a COVID. She's in week 2, so she needs some prayers. I also have one more announcement. I want to say thank you. Special thanks, you guys. We've had a couple of gifts come into us. We just want to shout out. We're not going to tell everybody what you sent us, but special thanks to Gina Cook. You are awesome, and what you sent us is absolutely beautiful, and we'll always treasure those.
We should read it tonight if we have time.
If we have time, we'll read the letter.
Yes.
Dewey and D. Edwards, thank you so much for your gift.
Thank you, Dooster.
Joe and Jesse Doyle, thank you so much for your gift. I truly appreciate it. I know he does. So
sure do.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
I personally want to shout out to Sherry Griffey and her daughter, Nikki Griffey. Us 3 girls went to Land Between the Lakes this past weekend and did alone. We did an overnight trip alone, just us 3. We had a blast and couldn't have made it happen without them 2. So
we want to welcome,
thank you, Sherry, and thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, we want to welcome Sister Sherry and Nikki into the Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Wolf Sister Sherry and Nikki. Pleasure to have you. Honor to have you in this little club I have going on here. Before I get started, I want to remind everybody, I just have a few calls tonight that people are being unsubbed from the channel. About 75% of the new subs get unsubscribed arbitrarily from this platform. So if you are a subscriber, please check to make sure that you still are. Thank you very much.
Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the like, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it. Yep, make sure you're subscribed.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Absolutely.
Look at all these wonderful people in the chat room. Oh my goodness. So our guest, he must be a pretty popular person,
I think
right?
so. I think he is.
I think you're all going to love him. Without further ado, we're going to introduce you to South Force 10. So let's bring him up.
Hey, South Force 10, are you there? Hello.
Can you hear us, South Force?
Uh-oh.
Well, we must have lost him somehow.
We have a problem. Hang on, guys. We're gonna get it.
We'll get him in here sooner or later, and he's never done a live stream before, so he's not familiar with.
There we are.
Oh,
yeah,
hello.
we can hear you now. How you doing, brother?
Am I modulating?
Yes, you are.
It's hard. It's hard to get out of Hog Holler here. I'll tell you what. Thought I was gonna have to walk up on top of the mountain.
I have to go up on top of the mountain, brother, down there in Tennessee. I know it's probably hard to get signals and everything. This is your first live stream, right?
Very first one, yes. I've been asked to do a few before, and I never have. And you know what? You all are good people and straight shooters and everything, and it's an honor for me to come on and do your show and be live with you.
Well, it's an honor. It's our honor to have you here.
Absolutely,
brother. And I know we had a great conversation a few nights ago, and I know that you're my brother in Christ, so I'm just going to call you brother because I know you don't want your identity revealed. So
thank you.
Yeah. So how are you doing tonight? Everything going?
I'm doing good tonight. Doing good, getting along good. Had a long day at work. Been looking forward to hearing from everybody.
Yes.
You know, I've never got to address any of my followers before live. They sort of get on me a little bit and want me to do different shows and stuff, and I always wiggle around and get out of it. But I'm here tonight.
Well, we're proud to have you.
Proud to have you. And it sounds like me. You know, we never planned to do this, but here we are. It's our duty to make the best of it, and we're just lucky that the good Lord sent us people like you. And thanks so much for reaching out to me. I read your email and then called you up. We had a nice long conversation. So if you'd like to, for the people who don't know who you are, you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Yeah, I'll sort of do like I've done you with the email there. I'll give a little description. I go by South Force 10. I don't give my real name or anything because I get a lot of blowback from the public here. So since I was born, me and my family have experienced a lot of negative paranormal stuff in our life, our bloodline. And growing up, it was something that I was made to feel ashamed of. My grandmother always thought that something was done somewhere in the past to our bloodline. And that's why all this happens to us. I was warned as a child that I would see things, that I would hear things, that I would experience different things in different ways as everybody on my mom's side of the family did. And sure enough, it's came to pass. I've had to deal with a lot of stuff, a lot of negativity that I've kept to myself. Dealt with that. And then as far as growing up, my uncles used to tell me a story about when they were young and my grandfather was young. They would go up into the national park, Great Smoky Mountains, and I referred to them as feral men. And I actually probably should have said feral beings because these things have never been out of the woods. They've never been in a public bathroom. You know, these aren't people who just disappeared off the grid. These were things that were a nuisance to the people in the park and the people that lived around in the area. So they were paid some cash money to go and start weeding these things out. And they've never been thought of as something that was paranormal or anything like that. They've been referred to more as just a nuisance. So they formed kill teams, you might say, and they went out there and tried to weed these things out before the park really got started and, you know, got where people were coming in. You know, the roads were still dirt and gravel at that point in time, so you didn't have to worry about the population up there.
Right.
So you can say that's sort of my claim to fame.
Here. So you said with your uncles and your grandfather that used to do this. So what time frame are we talking here, brother?
Well, I'm going to say that with as far as my grandfather, I'm going to say that was probably in the 20s. It could have been a little bit earlier than that. And then with my uncles, that would have probably been in the mid 30s. And then, of course, there was a break for the war. And then when they came back, they picked right up again. And they done it through the 40s and 50s. And then the park got to where it started getting pretty populated. And that's when they stopped. They stopped doing it because they had thinned them down pretty good at that point. And it wasn't just my family that done it. There were other families up through that holler in different spots. And I'm sure in different counties that was probably picked out to do this. And nobody really ever thought of it as a big deal at all.
Right. Like a rodent extermination or something like that. So let's be clear, brother. What you're saying is the federal government from the 1920s up to the 1960s used to pay your family and a few others to go in and shoot and kill as many feral people as they possibly could. Is that correct? They would pay them a bounty for each one?
They would pay them a bounty for each one that they could bring out. Yes. Yes, they would.
Wow.
And that's amazing right there.
Watch what you say.
Yes. So, and you're right. It's
Sorry.
certain words that get you in trouble on this platform here. So,
oh yeah, get me in trouble around here too. I'm already in trouble with the locals around here. So,
right. Well, they think you're trying to. They think you're bad for the tourism there, right?
Oh yeah, they think that I'm actually running the utopia off from here, and that I'm going to bring in the wild redneck gunslingers that are going to be running up and down the trails hunting, for these feral people. And the mom and pop and children are going to leave because, they don't want these things taken off with their kids and stuff. So yeah, they would like for me to be quiet and talk about something else.
Well, the only way to defeat them, brother, is to go ahead and talk and say what you know. And I always tell people this, that the only thing we can do when we experience things and know things and is to stand up and stand tall and tell the truth just because it's the truth, regardless of the consequences. And that's what we're expected to do. And that's what I think. You have 50,000 people, only 2 or 3 out of the 50,000 will have experiences of high-strangeness and inhumanoids and all this stuff. So the only reason I can think that the good Lord picks us out is he knows that one day we're going to come forward and share what we know with everyone else, and that way help everyone, right?
I agree with you 100%, brother. 100%, yes.
Okay,
yes, sir.
So the government stopped this bounty program for the feral people in the 1960s, and then in 1969, we have a family that came down there to the Great Smoky Mountains, the Martin family, right?
Yep.
And I think it was 6 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yes, one of the children, Dennis Martin, disappeared while playing hide and seek there. And he was never seen again.
Never seen again.
Nothing was ever found with him or his clothes or any blood or anything to indicate what happened to him, correct?
Correct.
Now, you say you talked to the game wardens down there. What did the game warden tell you happened to Dennis Martin?
The game wardens and the some of the park officials growing up around here, I went to school with a lot of their children and stuff and was friends with them. Yeah. And I used to question them quite a bit off and on about this because, I knew a little bit more than the average person, and I could tell that sort of confused them a little bit, that I knew some things. And they never would just right out talk to me about it. I could tell that I was striking a nerve with them when I would talk about these things. Right. But I had one tell me that, son, you don't want to know. You need to stop this. You don't want to know. Sounds like you know enough already. So him telling me that when I was questioning him sort of let me know that I was right, because he also questioned me on how I knew, who told me that the government come in and paid these bounties. How do you know that? Who told you this? So he knew that, that I did know a few things. And then also the same with there's another game warden, and he did confirm to confirm it with me that yes, that's what they think happened with Dennis.
Right.
That he was taken by a feral being and never seen again.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. What purpose would the feral being have to take a little kid like that?
Well, now this is just strictly my opinion. I think that these things try to roam the park without being seen too much, and I actually think that just like with humans, you're going to have some that those things are not supposed to, and I feel like this one took him, heard the kids up there playing, and took him for his own use, or maybe as a plaything, possibly cannibalism. I mean, when you get right down to it, there's so many unanswered questions of why he could have took him, and it could have been more than one also. But that's just my theory that it was a rogue one. There's no history of these things roaming the park in packs and taking people. So, that's where I came from with that.
Right. Now, you said you didn't feel like they were humans, but more like they were beings. So not quite human being, covered in hair. Yes, but they're not Bigfoot, right? Is that what you believe? These things are not Bigfoot.
No, not Bigfoot. They can be killed. They can be brought down. Yes.
Right. So I don't guess you have any way of knowing how many of these feral people that your grandpa and your uncles harvested, would you?
No, I got a different number. I'd get a different number from them every time. A lot of them would tell me a number, and then they would sort of guess around. I think I had one of my uncles tell me 14, and then I had another one of my uncles tell me that he didn't count.
Yeah.
And then a third uncle, he wouldn't tell me a number at all, but he said that my grandfather, he probably held the record, but he wouldn't give me a number. So it's hard to tell.
Right. Yeah, no telling how many of these things they killed.
Right. And they was reluctant to talk about it. I get people in the comments who say, "Oh, they just told you that to keep you out of the woods." No, they slipped up, and I heard them talk about it one time. I was young, and then I would badger them constantly to tell me more and more. And they really didn't like talking about it because, maybe some people did think this was human beings. But from what I was told, this wasn't humans at all. This didn't even belong in the same category as a hominid, So,
yeah.
So I don't know. I would like to have seen one myself. I had descriptions of them covered in not the short, brushy hair like you would see on a Bigfoot or maybe an ape or gorilla, but long, stringy strands of hair with bald spots, without hair periodically all over them. Sort of like a Neanderthal, maybe, if you will.
Yeah.
What I picture.
Okay, now, let me ask you this. How many times a year did the government sponsor these hunts? Was it just once a year, or was it more than once per year?
I believe it was about 3 times a year is when they would sponsor these hunts. They would go about 3 times a year. I don't think they went in the winter time because these things would obviously have hiding places that they wouldn't be out and roaming as much in the winter. They would stock up, I'm assuming, on their food. So they didn't really do any sort of hunts in the winter time. But in the other 3 seasons, I think they done about 1 a season.
Right. Well, in my opinion, these feral entities, whatever they are or were, they probably took that young boy for food and not for anything. I don't know. Other than that, right? So that would be my guess. If these feral beings or one feral being took this young boy, Dennis Martin, he probably ate him. So that's a terrible thought.
That's a horrible thought.
Right.
It's a very horrible thought, and it's hard for me to talk about. A lot of people want me to, really keep doing the videos on it, and it's really hard to do because I'm not sure how much family Dennis has got left out there. I know, he doesn't have his mother and father have now passed on, but it's kind of hard to talk about. It's sort of macabre. When I told the story, I was just going to tell it a one-time thing and just use my channel as a throwaway channel and not do anymore. And got people to ask me to tell some more stories and stuff, so I did and went on from there.
Yeah, we're glad you decided to keep going. I've watched a few of your videos and they're really good. And I know Martin Groves, he's memorized just about every one of your videos, he told me. So
I like Martin. I have a lot of respect for Mr. Groves. After what he's seen and done and been through, lots of respect for that man.
Goes both ways, I can tell you that.
Yes, it sure does. And actually I didn't, I don't follow many YouTubers, brother, and I didn't really know who you were until my brother Jitesh Patel told me. He said, "Oh my goodness, brother, South Force 10 just commented on one of your videos." And I said, "Okay, wow, who's South Force 10?" And he said, "Oh my goodness, you don't know who South Force 10 is?" I'm like, "No, I don't do much YouTube other than this little community clique that we have going on, which you will be added to, brother. Your link will be right there in your YouTube, right in the
description.
Not the description, but the playlist, I guess they call it.
Okay.
It's in the description too.
Well, that's great. I'm like you. I don't have a lot of YouTubers that I follow or listen to. I don't like these people who go out and they see a Bigfoot every time they go out in the woods, or a feral man chases them every time they go out in the woods. That's not believable. But you been listening to your stuff for a while now. The good folks over there at Hellbent Holler, Jesse and Joe. I watch their stuff all the time. Their stuff is amazing. Stuff they do, and there's a few more that I listen to out there, and that's about it.
Right.
Well, we want to invite you to join Blondes and Booze.
Yes,
please go over there and join them guys. They are awesome, good ladies.
I sure will.
Bigfoot Michigan Rob too.
I'm sorry.
I said Bigfoot Michigan Rob too.
Yep. And Texas Front Porch and
PRT
Paranormal
Paranormal Among Us, right?
PRT.
I do. Yeah, I do listen to Paranormal Roundtable. Yes, I do. I listen to that.
All right.
Yep.
So what we're doing here, brothers, we're putting together a community of people who actually tell the truth and have some truth to share with people, so we can help people. Right? We don't use AI generated content. It's all real. And as you know, I call the people who message me. Right? I ask their phone number, and I make sure that they're not trying to pull my leg or whatever. That what they're offering is real and not fiction. So you can attest to that yourself. And
that's right.
I'm so glad that you messaged me, and I know you had a long message, and I'm going to read that on my next podcast drop out in the woods reading. I got a lot of emails to go. The emails it's like the good Lord's opened the floodgates to these emails. I was getting 1 or 2 a month, and now I'm getting, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 a month. So I'm kind of back up, but I'm going to get to everyone out there that has sent in an email. I promise you I will get to you. I know some of you have been waiting patiently for a long time. I will get to you. And so, brother, let's talk about, so we covered the Dennis Martin story, and I want to tell everybody, if you'd like to ask South Force a question, please put it in caps, and if you want to, use the super chat option, which highlights it for several minutes there. And
also, Bart, I have dropped South Force 10's YouTube link in chat, and I'll continue to do that throughout.
Thank you, Kristen. Welcome. We didn't get to say hi to you.
Oh, good. I'm sorry I'm late.
Hey, that's good. All of my guys out there, all of my mods, y'all just start dropping everybody's link that we're connected with. Just start dropping it in the chat for us, please.
Now don't
forget BMR and Texas Front Porch, guys. Jonestead Farms.
Jonestead Farms, Cryptidville. These are people that we can back 100% as being truthful and not in it for any other reason than to tell you the truth. They're not in it for views or subs or clicks or what have you. They just want to tell you the truth. And that's the people that are drawn to me and this group for some reason. Good Lord, as it's like he's intent on making this channel grow into something special, despite the best attempts of Google to the subscribers and the views. You know, I've had one view that got 10,000 views in one day.
Yeah.
And by the end of the week, it had 22,000 views. And now, 50 days later, it just now broke 23,000 views. So we got a lot of funny stuff going on here. But this is the hand that we're dealt, and this is the hand that we're playing. So we're going to do our best. And so, brother, let's move on from Dennis Martin on to some of the more personal experiences that you've had in your life. You say your family was, you believe your family was cursed. Your mother told you that?
Yes, I was told that when I was young by my grandmother and my mother. They would tell me stories that would happen. And I guess I need to back up and explain the reason how I come about to know so many stories is when I was growing up, my mom stayed in the hospital most of her life. She had her legs removed. She had diabetes, and then she had cancer. And my dad was a over-the-road truck driver. So that left me bouncing around to my mom's family from aunt to uncle, aunt to uncle. She had a large family. And so I would stay with them, and that's how I would gather these stories. And that's how they would all tell me about the family curse, if you will. And I didn't really believe too much of it growing up. I started experiencing things and seeing things. I started experiencing something when I was very young. Something used to follow me around. I done a video about it, called it "Look Just Like My Mother," and that was one of the hardest videos I've ever had to do. I told my wife and probably my sister, and that's the only people I've ever told about. I would see something as a young boy, and it looked like my mother, to be honest with you, and except it had a deformity. The face was deformed, and instead of talking, it would scream at me and grunt.
Oh, wow.
And I would see this thing, and I would look around, and I noticed nobody else was seeing it as I was young. Well, as I got older, I must have blocked that out of my mind, and I would think of it as surely that was a dream. Mm-hmm. But no, as I hit my teen years, I would think back about it, and it was a very scary thought. That was a very scary time in my life growing up.
Right,
but
it was.
I would tell my mother and my grandmother about it, and they didn't, they didn't seem to say, "Oh, you're dreaming." My grandmother would say, "Come here and let's pray," which I knew it was serious. It was something serious to me, and it scarred me for a long time.
Yeah, so this thing would take the shape and form of your mother, and your mother was still alive there, right?
Yes, she would still be alive, and I would see this thing in the wood lines where we lived. I would be out in the yard or in the swing, and I would see something over here in the woods pacing and walking, and I would look, and it was this thing. And I remember a bunch of my cousins being outside playing and walking down the road, and I remember seeing this thing walking, about 20 feet, 30 feet behind them. And I remember it looking at me thinking, I got the message, you can see me, but they can't. And I remember asking them who that was. And they told me there's nobody behind us. And it really did. That stuck with me and scarred me pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Last time I encountered it, I was sitting on the couch watching Saturday morning cartoons. Mom and Dad was in the kitchen cooking, and I remember this thing come out of the bedroom, and it come running down the hallway, frailing its arms and screaming. It takes the seat beside me on the couch, and as the first time it seemed as if it was maybe showing me some compassion or something. Anyway, I knew that would be the last time I would see this thing. Somehow I got that conveyed to me. It stopped screaming and stared at me for a good 15 seconds, and then it was gone, and I never saw it again.
Well, I'm glad you didn't Yeah, that's it's terrible when these things invade your own home and you think you're safe in your own home, but you're really not. So
yeah, that's right. That messed with me. I think it messed with me in school, my grades, sleeping. It done more to me than I realized at the time.
Yeah.
So then after that point, got a little older and I started experiencing just little things here and there, different things, and sometimes some big things. But my family was big on warnings.
Omens and such. Now you come from a mountain family deep in the Smoky Mountains, right?
Oh yeah, deep in the mountains. My family, I guess, once they immigrated here from overseas, they never left the shadow of the mountain. They stayed up against it, and let me tell you, they believed in the mountain ways and mountain things, and they shunned anything that was new. For a long time. You might say they was sort of backwards, actually, because they never left the shadow of that mountain.
Wow. Well, that's a incredible heritage to have, and I know the mountain folk they live differently than we do, and really it's a whole different world for them than it is for us, right? So
yeah, they have a lot of different believings. I remember one time one of the hardest whippings I ever got in my life was I walked up to an empty rocking chair as a child, and I started rocking that chair without anybody sitting in it. And my grandmother gave me one of the hardest whippings because she says that attracts spirits. Don't do that.
Yeah, my parents were the same way. And
they
didn't want anybody rocking no rocking chair with anybody in it, or they had different little superstitions that they would go by, and my dad instilled in me, and I still have them to this day. It's like if you're down on the floor sitting down or doing something, whatever, and you're not to step over somebody, right?
That's exactly right. Exactly.
Right, you have to back up and step back over them, and then go around. Now that's.
And I've had to step over him and back over him several times in our relationship.
It's just something that's ingrained in me through my raising, the type of people that raised me. And I'm glad. I wouldn't have it any other way, even though some people might look at it as kind of silly or whatever. But it seems like it's worked for me for a while. But I know that curses are real, brother, and several of my wolf brothers and sisters can attest to the same fact. So. What else have you seen other than that thing that chose to take the form of your mother? That's as scary as can be right there.
I've had a lot of scary things happen. I was telling you all, I think I told you this the other night, but I'll tell everybody. I told you my mother had lost her legs due to diabetes. Well, long before she ever lost her legs, I had an uncle, and the diabetes was hereditary. And he had lost his legs, or it was actually her uncle, and he had lost his legs. And she would tell me that at the nighttime she would hear something going down the hallway. And I remember one particular night she asked me to come in there and lay in the bed with her. She was sick. And she asked me, do you hear that noise? You can hear a squeak. I could hear this little squeak. And I said, yeah, I do hear that. She said, that's your Uncle Joe's wheelchair. She said his wheelchair had a certain squeak to it. She said, I'm going to lose both my legs. She told me that was a warning to her that she was going to lose her legs. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying, Mom, that stuff's crazy. You don't believe in that. And I remember just big tears come out of her eyes. And sure enough, within 2 years, 3 years, she had lost both her legs.
Wow.
Sorry.
Just stuff like that. The last thing I had happen to me, I had told my wife a lot of these stories over the years, and I can tell they sort of scare her, and she acts like she don't believe, or she just acts that way because she's scared. But one way or another, we were in Florida on vacation, and we were at the swimming pool, me and her, and I happened to look over my shoulder. And there was a huge black dog, looked like a Rottweiler, at the swimming pool. And I remember doing a double take, thinking, what's that big dog doing down here at the pool? So when I looked back, the dog wasn't there. It was gone. I only saw it for a second. And I knew right then something terrible was going to happen. And I told my wife, tears come down my face because I was thinking of my child, or, I didn't know. I told her, I said, something bad's going to happen. I don't know what, but something terrible is going to happen. And within the next 48 hours, my sister had a stroke that she wound up dying from. And my wife's aunt that she was really close to, she died. And this was all within 48 hours. So I could actually look at my wife and say, I am so glad I told you that, now you seen, there's no way I could have predicted that. Now And she didn't know what to say.
Right. So that black dog was an omen of death.
Yes, I knew exactly what it meant when I saw it. I froze into place because when I looked back over there, it was gone. There was nothing, and there's no way it could have disappeared that fast. I done a double take and it was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I felt the hair stand up on my neck and arms, and you get this. I don't know how to describe. It's an electric sort of feeling that you get when that happens to you, or when you see these things. It's like an antenna, I guess. But and sure enough, that happened. And I want to say that's probably the last thing that has happened to me that was sort of crazy, sort of big.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
but I've had so much over the years, so many things happen, and I always kept it to myself, and I didn't tell nobody because, like I say, I was raised to feel ashamed of this, made to feel ashamed. You don't go out and you don't tell people that you're seeing these things or these things happen. They'll lock you away, and the community will know something bad happened. Somebody in your family done something terrible and brought this curse on, and it's to be ashamed of. It's not to go out and talk about. And so I lived with it and kept it hid all my life and didn't tell very many people at all. Very many.
Right. Well, thankfully, brother, this is a different time. And I remember, the time when you couldn't come out and tell the truth, or you stood to lose everything that you had, your family, your home. And some people even committed suicide because they came out and said, I saw a Bigfoot or whatever in Inhumanoid, and they would get ridiculed so badly that they ended up committing suicide. So back in the day, you stood to lose everything, but this is a different time now. This is a time that the good Lord has set back to reveal things, right? I think you can feel the truth of that statement just like I can. It's time for the people who have the truth to step forward and share the truth and disclose what you know. So that's how I feel about it, and it's obvious that it's happening because so many people are stepping forward now, and they're not having to face all the backlash that people used to have to face for telling the truth. So thank the good Lord for that. And
you know what, Bart, I have a question real quick. I've always told, the mountain people, they're very, very private. They don't want outsiders to know their business. Do you think some of these people have actually seen some of these creatures? They just, it's just a matter of them being private, not the fact that putting it out there, but just, it's their business, not anybody else.
Yeah. Are you talking about the feral men?
Yeah, just in general, like the mountain people,
Yes, definitely. I've got some of my friends who would go hunting, and they would come back and they would tell me, they saw different things. Mm-hmm. I can remember my uncles talking, saying, so and so said that he had one he thought get in his chickens or something back. I remember that when I was young, thinking, wow, I want to go up there and hide out in the chicken coop and see this thing. So yeah, I think that a lot of the people who are really out there in the mountains now, it's different here because now you've got mountain folk and country folk. The country folk don't live up against the mountain. They're two different breeds of people. And then you've got the mountain folk, and they really keep to themselves. They see something,
right?
They don't tell anybody else other than their family, and then that's how a lot of the folklore is born. But yes, I'm sure that a lot of people do see those things and probably still do. There's probably I get asked if I think if there's any left, and I'm gonna say yeah, just from stories that I have people come forward and tell me. I think they're probably not as plentiful as they once was, but I definitely do think that there is some still out there on the trails, and I think they're way, way back in the woods, you know.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, brother. And Felicia says he is telling truth. Yes, he is, Felicia, or he would not be on this program. South Force and I talked for quite a while, and you know, it makes a big difference to me when somebody tells me that they're a God-fearing Christian as opposed to an atheist or an agnostic or whatever. Because you know as well as I do, brother, that being a Christian, the Bible tells us that there are consequences in the next life for running around and spreading lies in this life. And you have to be accountable for everything that you do and every word that you speak. Words are powerful tools, right? So,
right, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light.
Yes, God created the heavens and the earth. You know how He did it. He didn't snap His finger or anything like that, or get a hammer and nails and start work. He spoke everything into existence. So words have power, and you have to watch what you say and how you use them, because you are going to be held accountable for that in the next life. So
that's right. You know, we've got, when it comes to words, you know, that's the only thing that we've only got two harnesses to really hold back the tongue, is we've got the teeth and the lips. So that tells you how powerful the word is. But yeah, I think so. I think those things are still out there roaming, and I think the park knows it. I think they try to come up with reasons and excuses for the Dennis Martin disappearance. You know,
yeah. Now there was a Green Beret team that come in there, right?
Yes.
Under the pretext of looking for this missing young boy. So do you think they were actually looking for that boy, or you think they were in there to do something else?
I think they were in there to exterminate. You know, they're not the Boy Scouts, and they don't come in and help look for lost children. As bad as that sounds, they are trained killers. That's what they do. They kill. You know, you have search and rescue teams who are trained to do that, and they brought in these trained killers for a reason. And I always get it in the comments, well, I didn't see no guns on the film that I saw, or the pictures. They didn't have any guns, and the reason you didn't see any guns is because they didn't want you to see no guns. I mean, They're not going to parade them around, you know, out there. You know, remember, this is supposed to be kept quiet. You know, they're not going into the woods to kill the little boy. So why would they need to show you their guns? But I think that a gun drop was done, and there was a whole weekend that nobody was allowed in the park. So yeah, I think the park had to come up with a reason and an excuse. I've heard everything. The guy who wrote the book, I won't mention his name, he thinks that Dennis Martin was kidnapped, and I've been into it with several people arguing. Somebody did not pick this boy up on their shoulder and run 7 miles down a trail to the nearest parking lot on a busy Father's Day weekend with this boy screaming and yelling, "This is not my father," and nobody not see nothing. That just didn't happen.
Just picking up a boy and throwing him over your shoulders, a 6-year-old boy, and walking 7 miles is a Herculean feat of strength and endurance in its own right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that he was kidnapped either. And there was actually a family of campers. I think it might have been 7. It might be the one that you're referring to, that saw something that they thought was a bear.
Yes, the Key family.
Yeah. So what was their story? It was something thrown over their shoulder.
They had asked some of the rangers where they could go see some bear at, and the ranger directed them to Rowan's Creek. That's in Cades Cove, people who don't know. And they would stand a good chance of seeing some wildlife there. So they go to Rowan's Creek, the man and his family and children. And while they're there, they see something up on the hilltop. And the young boy says, "Look, Dad, there's a bear." and they get to looking, and it's not a bear. It's a man with like a bear pelt on, and he's carrying something over his shoulder. And it runs off over the top of the hill once it realizes it's been spotted. And this story was snuffed out. It wasn't told to Dennis Martin's dad. It wasn't told to anybody until the reporter caught wind of it and exposed it. So again, there's your evidence of a cover-up.
Right. And this was how many miles away from the point of disappearance? Do you know?
I was told from where they was at, it was exactly about, now as the crow flies, you could go that way in about 2.5 to 3 miles. But I think if you needed to take the trail, it was a 7-mile trail.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of strange things that don't add up in that story. And amazingly, I talked to a fellow just last night who has a similar story to tell, and we're going to get him on and as soon as he's ready to tell it. And it's something that the guy that you spoke of, the book writer, he doesn't even know about. So it's crazy how these national parks seem to be nexus points for these Inhumanoids to abduct, attack, or kill people.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
why do you think it is that this happens so often and frequently in the national parks, brother?
I've got a theory a little bit, and then, like I say, I talked to some park rangers. There's something going on in the national parks. The national parks, I call them mini Skinwalker ranches. There's something about each one of them that's special, and I think our government knew that at the time, and that's why they made them national parks, to limit where people can travel to and what they can do inside that area. But I think there's a lot of high strangeness that goes on in these national parks, whether it be portals, whether it be some of these Inhumanoids traveling around. I definitely think there is high strangeness in all of these parks.
Right. Well, so everyone on the screen and a bunch of people in chat can attest to the accuracy of that statement. When Letitia was down at the LBL last weekend, she saw, how many white vans did you see, honey?
We seen 2 at the same time.
2 at the same time, and took photographs of them. Mm-hmm. And inside the white van was, you could see a man wearing a business suit. So that's
coming out of what was considered the kill site.
Mm-hmm. Right. Coming out of a site that was allegedly the location that a family of 4 were killed there. Mm-hmm.
So that's a little wonky, business suits and white vans.
I've got the pictures to prove that. And
at the kill site, I know, I seen them. You showed me.
I think Sherry may still have or may have the pictures too, because we both I was like, white van, grabbing cameras, and we snapped it. And then we realized, oh my goodness, there's 2 of them. So I got one really good side picture, and you could see right in the window, and you could tell he was wearing a suit. And then I got another picture looking out the back window of her daughter's car, where you can see the other white van pulling off the road. But what everybody's talking about, me and Sherry discussed this, as you're going through the LBL, you're seeing all these new roads pop up and these really nice paved roads where it used to be they was just dirt. And we're like, I wonder why they're putting so much into fixing all these roads up. Well, I think they're just trying to herd everybody into certain spots so that they can't get to where we really want to be or where we need to be to find out the truth. So there's so many new roads down there. It's just unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah, the national parks are definitely places to be extra cautious if you go visit, and especially if you take children, because Martin, he could be there 1 second and the next second he's gone and never to be seen or heard from again.
Jonestead Farm said the guy she saw was wearing a white button-down shirt. Yeah. That just don't make no sense.
Right, and they went to a place called Empire Farms down there in LBL, and it's a huge parking lot, gravel, and down the right side of the parking lot is, 30 or 40 huge boulders, right?
I can show some pictures.
I'd say they weigh at least a ton each, and they got down there, and one of those boulders had been pushed 20 feet into the parking lot from the edge, and I don't know if 10 men could push one of those boulders like that. But there was no tracks, there was no tire tracks, there was nothing to indicate what happened and who did this. And I know no park worker would do that. So,
I'm going to show you guys a picture. So if you see that line of boulders going down through there, if you look all the way to the very back of the picture, you can see how far that boulder is pushed out.
yeah, show them some of the close-ups that you have, honey.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you look at that, you can see where it was pulled away from the rest of them.
You see the drag marks. Hold up.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just showing you the size of the boulders right there.
Yeah, they're big.
There you go.
See that? Now show them one that shows the boulder was resting before it was moved. Right there. You see how far that was pushed?
Oh yeah.
That does. You might not be able to tell how big that rock is, but it's at least 2,000 pounds.
Oh yeah, you can tell by that indention right there in the ground that nobody's going to be able to even move it out of that indention, let alone that far.
Right. So what happened is there's the indention. What happened is it was pushed over on its side because you can see the flat surface of the bottom of the rock in that picture. It was pushed over on its side and then pushed out into the road like that. And there's
Wow.
What I find interesting, there's no tire tracks. There's no like footprints where a bunch of people got together to push it. I mean,
right. No,
I can't explain that.
Now, I did take the picture of where the boulder was resting and zoom it in, and there is some indentation there. It looks like 4 fingers. It's at the very top of that, the dirt spot where the rock was sitting, right? But other than that, there's no indication of what could have happened to misplace this rock. And it didn't move by itself. That's for sure.
And there was absolutely no tire tracks anywhere. Not in the grass, not in the nowhere. There was not anything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was pretty wild.
Let's get back to South Force here. So, brother, now when these hunts were going on, you said one of your uncles would go to a particular cave, right? And that's where he would find these things and kill them. And in that cave, he found several Indian artifacts, right? In the form of arrows. Is that right?
Yes, he found what looks to be arrowheads, and they really look real primitive, not like any that I find in my garden or like any that I've seen you find in your videos. These things look very crude and very primitive. And the story was that he had found them when he was young, and when he would be on one of these hunts, and he brought back the whole bunch of them, put them in his closet. And after he had died, my aunt was cleaning out the closet, and she found them, and she gave all the grandkids. I got some of the others got some. We all got some of them, and that's how I came about those. Was when he died, I got them handed down to me, and I had been waiting for a long time for you to lay eyes on those, because if anybody can tell me anything at all about them, I knew it would be you.
Right. Well, I've never seen even the earliest Indians, the Paleo Indians, they were pretty good at flint knapping, right?
Right.
But, these here, it's like the very.
Sorry, our computer's getting ready to die.
Uh-oh, that's not going to be good. It's like very primitive flint knapping technique, and it's not even really flint, right? It's like the very least you could do to make something into a point or a blade or something like that. And honestly, bro, I've never seen any arrowheads like these here. Even the paleo points, like I said, they have a level of skill about the flint knapping. All I see here is percussion flakes. I don't see any evidence of pressure flaking at all. I see a little evidence of maybe a little grinding on the tails where it comes up to the shoulders, right? That's it. So
and they're very hard. These are very hard rock, yes.
Right, and these would be perfect to take and skin a bear, say, and tan that hide and wear that bear skin. But I've never seen. Have you ever seen an arrowhead like this, honey? It looks like regular granite or something, right?
Right.
So yeah, very atypical there. Very atypical there, brother, and appreciate you letting me see these arrowheads because, as you know, Letitia finds a lot of arrowheads in these creeks. Not me so much. But,
hey, real quick, Bart, can we take our 10-second pause?
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you. Just for commercials. I'd say we're good now. Carry on.
Okay. So, I'm going to start leaving Letitia home, brother, because she outdoes me every time now, and it's kind of embarrassing. You know, I've been doing this for, I've been doing this for 53 years now. She's been doing it for like 15, and it's kind of embarrassing. But
She's put you to shame.
Right? That's the women always do that to us, don't they?
Thank you, Danita.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. We'll read a list of everybody at the end of the show, so you guys stick around. We'll thank each and every one of you. But let's go through some of these pictures that you sent us, brother.
Before we do that, I want to tell everybody, stick around. We have 3 gifts we're going to give away tonight. We're going to do a drawing, so hang in there with us and stick around. Okay, now we're going to go through some pictures.
Yes, okay. Let's now this first one here this is a UFO that you saw, right? Go ahead and show it, hon. This is your sketch of the UFO that you saw?
Yes. I saw this in the sky when I was about 12 years old. We had went fox hunting, and of course, now going fox hunting, you don't take guns. You just go out and you build a fire and you listen to the dogs race and run and bark. And we had been out just a little bit longer on this particular night because the dogs was running good. So me and my cousin, we got in the truck, and we sat there, and we'd actually fell off asleep. And I had laid my head against the window. It was about partially down. And after some bit, I felt the window vibrating. So I thought I had knocked the truck out of gear, and we were going to roll down the hill. So I immediately come awake, and when I looked over to my left, I saw this big orange ball, and it had these curved lines in behind it. And I mean, it was as big as the sun was in the sky, even bigger. And I saw it for just a few seconds, and then it imploded into itself. And then the vibration of the truck stopped, and then all the bugs and everything come back to, you could hear the crickets again and everything. Wow. But yes, my heart stopped when I saw that, and I don't know if it was a ship, a portal, or what, or why I was meant to see it. But yeah, that scared me to death. It sure did. I've got a colored picture of it there too that I sent you all. What it looked like. Yeah, that's exactly, when I looked to my left, that's exactly what I saw. I have drawn that image 1,000,000 times in my life, sitting wondering what I saw. I know I'll know one day, but right now I don't know.
Wow.
Right. Yeah,
but
you're right. Josh Turner, welcome. Good to see you, man. And you're right. They do pay a lot more attention to details, it seems, because we'd be walking down a creek, and my brother and me, we'd get ahead of Letitia. And then 10 minutes later, Letitia would call us on the phone and show us a picture of the arrowhead she found. And she'd be like, all right, who's walking down the right-hand side of the creek? And I'd be like, it's my brother. And she goes, well, he just walked over this. We're like, oh, no. Like, I can't believe you walked over that arrowhead like that. And I've done it myself. I can't say that I've never done that. It's happened to me.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, let's go to the next.
Enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. I know you. Let's show this next picture here, bro, and you can explain what's going on to us.
Okay.
I see some more.
Yeah, that was just a cabin right there in Cades Cove. I don't think it's the John White cabin. I think it's the I'm not sure the name of that cabin. They all run together with me, but I happened to snap a picture, and of course, a lot of people discounts the orbs, and I do too. Certain orbs I do believe are dust and stuff, but then when you get some that are just as so bright, as like that one right there on the right, that seems like whenever you see something like that, there's something else there. Something else is going to happen. There's something electric in the air whenever those are around. Of course, you can't see them unless you take a picture. But it seems like I constantly catch stuff like that in the photographs that I take.
Right. Well, I know a lot of people that see them without video help. They see them floating through the woods, and it's my opinion that these orbs are the true forms of Inhumanoids. Right? You see an orb floating through the woods, and then suddenly something steps out of those woods. And Brother Daryl Denton, my wolf brother Daryl, I think he's in the chat if he's still there. He saw one of these orbs with the naked eye float through the woods, lower to the ground, and turn into a possum. And then
Wow.
the possum just walked off. So, I've always kind of wondered what these orbs were, and I'm beginning to believe this is what Bigfoot really looks like, and all these other metaphysical entities that I call Inhumanoids. I think this is the true form of them, and they manifest into what they believe the witness wants to see or needs to see in order to get them to believe something that they shouldn't believe. And
I've heard that too, Barton. I've heard that a lot of places that or people who witness Bigfoot actually see orbs either before or after the sighting. I've heard that reported on a lot.
You'd be surprised how common that is. And the commonalities are the indicators of the true nature of these beings. Now, I do think there are beings like Dogman, that the government's creating these things in a laboratory and let them loose or whatever they're doing. But I think they've been doing it since 1945 when they brought the Nazis over here, Operation Paperclip. So, but I also think that in addition to that, we have what the Bible calls the evil spirits of the earth. Now, these evil spirits of the earth, which are separate from the demons, which are the fallen angels, they can all take the form of anything they wish, even an angel of light, if they so wish, right? In order to pull the witness into believing something that's antithetical to the Bible and the Word of God. So that's what I think about the orbs. Let's go to the next picture, honey. All right, what we got here, brother?
This is a picture of some horses in Cage Cove, and I probably should have sent you the other pictures, but I was taking these pictures just one after another. It took about 4 in probably 5 or 6 seconds, and for some reason, this picture right here come out to look like it was foggy, and then of course you see the orb, but it was a bright, clear day. The sun was shining, and there was no reason for that picture to come out like that. That was very odd and very strange.
It is
very strange.
Now, you know what? Real quick. So I look at a lot of orb pictures, and I got to tell you, this one here that you're showing, do you see the tail on it?
Yeah.
To me, that's a legit orb right there.
Right. Indicates the movement. Right.
Wow.
What'd you say, Krista? I'm sorry.
It's just my 2 cents, but like a true orb has like a tail or something onto it, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. You sure got something on there.
Yep, I believe that one to be legit.
Now, brother, have you ever seen anything like Bigfoot or Dogman or anything down there in Tennessee?
I had seen evidence of Bigfoot. I had seen one when I was young, walking away from me from a distance. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I had an encounter when I was younger with something trying to run me and my buddy off from the campfire we had. Something was picking up boulders, and I mean, these were huge boulders, and throwing them straight up in the air, and they would come down, and you would hear them hit in the river, but not just splash. They would hit so hard that you could hear them hit the bottom of the river, the rocks on the bottom. You would hear that noise, and
what river is that?
What it was, that was actually, that's not been too long. That's probably been in the last 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, was that the Tennessee River you're talking about?
That's the Little Pigeon River.
Little Pigeon River, not very deep then, right?
It's not deep in spots, but now where we was at, I would say it was probably 2.5 foot deep right there. Mm-hmm. So it had to be a pretty good sized rock for it to, because it actually sounded like that you was throwing the rocks on the bank. I mean, because you could hear them hit the bottom that clear, and then of course you'd hear the water slap back together.
Right.
And that happened to us a couple of times. and like it was wanted. We were cooking something over a fire, and there was just a wood line on the other side over there, on the other side of the river where we was at, and we could see over there and didn't see anything. And the next time my buddy, he shined his light over there and looked like a pair of red eyes, like something. He caught the red eye shine, and then whatever it was looked down at the ground. I guess it knew it's probably had eye shine, but it immediately looked like it looked down because the eyes went in a downward motion, and then you couldn't see nothing.
Well, how far away was that? Can you recall?
That was probably about 25 yards away.
Well, it's about 75 feet. You couldn't make out any kind of body or anything like that, just the red eyes, right?
No, just the red eyes, and that was it.
Yeah. So, you still live in Tennessee, right down there in the middle of it all. Have you heard of your locals telling stories about seeing any of these things around that area?
Yeah, I've got a story, and it'll probably get me in trouble. You all can Google.
You have the right channel. Tell you that.
I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you if you want to read up on it yourself. You can Google school teacher mauled to death by a bear. There's a Jones's Cove school teacher, and the story was, and I can't remember the year, and that's why I'm saying you could Google it. It was in the early 2000s, maybe. Yeah. Up above Gatlinburg, a school teacher's got mauled by a black bear, and then she was partially consumed. Oh. And one of my friends was an EMT at the time, and he told me that her injuries was not consistent with a bear, but he said more like something with claws. Now, he thought cat, but he said the trouble with that is she was struck up high also. And he said it just really wasn't a cat's claw, but it was more consistent with a cat. So the first thing that I thought of was the dog man. And he said, whatever it was, he said it ripped her to shreds. And I got to watch because she may have family listening to this. So that's why I don't want to mention no names or anything.
Right, exactly.
But, it's no secret that she was partially consumed. And if you know anything about black bears at all, they very rarely ever attack people and consume people. That's just unheard of. And that's happened in the Smoky Mountains now, supposedly 2 or 3 times in the last, 10, 20 years. So that's really, I find that strange. I find that very odd. And he told me that it was a cover-up, that they covered up. They actually killed 2 bear. I guess it was for show more than anything, or they said they killed 2 bear, and they felt confident that they got the bears that attacked this lady. But he told me it was no bear, that it was something that could really force claws into her and rip her to pieces.
Now, big cats, I don't know how familiar you are with big cats and how they attack their prey, but typically they'll run up and jump up on their prey and attach their claws and their teeth to the prey, and with both their back legs, both their hind legs, they rip downward at the billet. So they effectively disembowel their prey before they start to eat it. So
and that's what he told me. And he said these rips was sideways. And that's what was so strange, that the cat would have had to jump up in the air and turn sideways, to get the initial rips in.
Right. The wounds are always vertical, never horizontal.
Right. That's what he told me. That's that's why they couldn't understand. I don't know if they actually really thought it was a bear and didn't know no better, or if they knew and they wanted to cover it up. But it was just years later, 25 miles away in Cott County, had 2 more people die within a month of each other at the very same spot. And I'd say that was about 25, 30 miles away from where this lady was killed.
Right. Now,
so yes, I believe these things roam. They roam these Smoky Mountains. There's things in these mountains that people have never laid eyes on before.
Yeah.
There's some strange stuff.
I think it's strange, bro. Now, you're almost as old as I am. I think you're within a couple of years of each other. Now, I went my whole life from birth till just here recently, and I never heard of a single dog attack that killed someone. Right, and now suddenly in the last 5 years, we have these multiple dog attacks, killing people everywhere, especially in Tennessee. Now, don't you think that's a little strange? I find it odd.
I think it's very strange, yes. And the one in Cott County, if you go on YouTube and you look at Jimtown Road, there's at one point they actually bring out a little 60-pound looking poodle, it looks like, and they say we've caught the dog that done it, more or less. I mean, it's just a little bitty timid looking dog. Looks like it's not ate in a month, and they want us to believe this is the dog that tore these people's arms off. You know, people didn't buy that.
Right. Well, the autopsy clarified that the arm was of the one lady was surgically amputated, and then to try to save it, then they tried to reattach it. So it wasn't literally torn off her body, but it was like barely hanging on. So it was just a crazy traumatic attack on these people, and we had one here in Kentucky not too long ago. A little boy was attacked and killed by they say a pack of wild dogs, but the thing is he was drugged 200 yards up a mountainside. Now that's 600 feet. There is no pack of dogs. If they make their kill, and I've been around dogs my whole life, you know, we've always had dogs. I'm pretty familiar with how they do, but if they make a kill, they'll just sit right there or stand right there and eat it. They won't drag it 600 feet away from the attack spot and eat it. They'll eat it right there, right?
No, that's not in a dog's nature to drag it and try to hide and store food or any of that. They'll eat right there where they can.
Right.
They're opportunists. Yes, exactly right.
So it's kind of strange that here in the last 5 years we have attack after attack, death after death. When I went my whole 57 years of my life almost without hearing any fatal dog attacks around these parts, you know. Mm-hmm. Of course, we have pit bulls and all this, and the pit bulls are a really aggressive breed. And a pack of any large dog could kill a person easy. It only takes 1 or 2 dogs to kill a person, but a pack of them would be able to kill pretty easy. But it's the little details about these stories that strikes a nerve with me and tells me something's not right. They say the devil's in the details, right?
Yes, exactly right. If it's a pack of dogs, if you've ever been around dogs and like I have, and I know you have, when they're attacking something, they also turn on each other. They fight each other. They're just aggressive and they're biting whatever. And you would find wounds. You'd find hair, fur from the actual dogs that done this because they actually inflict wounds onto each other also.
Right. Well, I can see something like a bear or something like that dragging a body off somewhere to eat it at its own leisure, but dogs just don't do that. Cats do that, but they usually take it up a tree or something like that and eat it at their own leisure. So these attacks just seem atypical to anything that I've ever heard of before, and it's kind of strange, you know. And somebody should be doing something about all this instead of letting people get killed and eaten.
I agree. These things are very real. People, the veil is thinning, and and these creatures are a very serious problem. The Bible tells us that the hearts of men will fail them. That's true. What's going to scare somebody to death to have a heart attack? It's like you said, the devil's in the details.
Right, and someone was telling me earlier today that they just found a woman today up in, I think it's northern Indiana, that was killed and mauled to death by what they're calling a pack of dogs. So it's happening all over the place, and it seems to be ramping up for whatever reason. I think I know the reason, but I don't believe these are dog attacks. Now, I know that wild dog packs exist because my brother saw one when he was camping in Henderson County, Geneva, right along the Ohio River, him and his wife. And we woke up one morning and he heard some rustling outside, and he unzipped the tent just a little bit to where he could see, and he said there was 12 dogs out there. He said each of the dogs were a different color, and he didn't know what breed they were, but they were all as big as Great Danes, and they were going through the garbage.
Wow.
So you can imagine 12 Great Danes, what they could do to a human being. He just zipped the flap back up, and they remained quiet until they left. But so wild dog packs are out there, and I can see a pack of big dogs killing somebody and maybe eating, but I can't see some Labradors and a bunch of poodles doing anything like.
Me either, brother. Me either.
Okay, baby, let's get the next picture.
Okay, while I'm getting the next picture up, can you guys please do us a favor and go hit that like button? We need some more likes in here, guys. It's free.
You don't know how much
As
it
Joe and
helps the
Jesse
show.
say, it's free.
And it helps with the algorithm and puts the show out there. So the more likes we get, the more successful the show will become. And if you like the content and you like the effort that we're putting forward here, then please hit that like button.
Please.
Even share the video if you like. Well, we got a graveyard here, right, brother? What's going on here now?
Okay, in this picture here, me and my son was up there in the graveyard, and we were just taking pictures. He was he had started watching these little ghost hunter shows on TV and everything, and we went up there and he started taking pictures and stuff, wanting to, see if he can catch any orbs or anything. And well, we didn't see anything. We'd come home, we checked the camera and stuff, and we never did see anything. And then one day I'm out here working on my truck, and we get a computer that's got a little better screen on it, a little better resolution. He comes all panicked. He's like, Dad, come here and look at this. So I go in there to him, and I don't see nothing. I still look, and I don't see nothing. But if you look on the far right, there's a little bitty white dot. Looks like on one of the tombstones.
I can see it.
And I saw that, and he's like, zoom in on it, Dad, zoom in on it. And of course, I had it on memory card, and memory card has more detail than what I was able to send you. I zoomed in on it, and it was a man's face. It was a man's face. And I sent you a few close-ups of it in case you couldn't zoom in on it. I sent you some that are zoomed in. But at the time we took this picture, this was the final picture on the roll. We said, if you're too scared to show yourself, more or less something we shouldn't have done, started taunting. But we done that, and then that's when this picture here came about. And when we zoomed in on it, like I said, with the memory card, you could see hair, you could see eyes, ears, you could see everything. It's transparent, but it looks like something just purely evil.
Is this the picture?
Is this the picture you're talking about here, brother?
Yes, that's one. I think I sent you two. Yeah, that's one of them. I think there should be maybe another one also that's zoomed in, maybe even closer, but I don't know if you can see the eyeballs in that thing from there or not.
Well, I can see the face. I can see the nose jutting up down to the lower portion and indentations where the eyes would be. It looks sort of like almost like a skull without the lower jaw to me.
Yes, that's what's missing. It seems like is the lower jaw on it, and I tell you what, that is a scary feeling knowing something like that is following you around somewhere.
Right.
But yeah, that was a pretty scary, terrifying picture.
Right, and make no mistake, you can't. There's no defense against these things. They can come right into your house, into your bedroom. The only defense we have is the holy name of Jesus Christ. So when you invoke that name, and it's a huge clue as to the nature of these things. But when you invoke that name, these things flee. They run away. And even the Inhumanoids, not just the orb, but the Inhumanoids, the Bigfoot and the Dogmen. If you invoke the name of Jesus Christ, then they flee. Now, when you do that, bear, when you say Jesus Christ to a bear, it's not really going to react, right? Or a cow, say, or a cat. Right. It's not going to run away in terror. But these Inhumanoids do, and people are saved. I had so many reports of the name Jesus, invoking that name, and it just saves them. It makes these things run away in terror. So keep that in mind, everybody. And I think that the world and particularly in our country, we're going through some really dark times. So if you don't have Jesus Christ in your life, and I'm here to tell you and give you testimony that you do need him, or you're going to be in big trouble. Okay, so what's this here?
Okay.
Now this is you, right, brother?
That's me. Yes, me and my wife. This happens quite often. We'll go out and we take pictures, and I'll take a picture of her, and the picture's fine. And then I hand her the phone to take a picture of me, and it seems like there's a light or something that's always shining around me or shining down on me. I won't say always, but if we're in a spot that is known for a little high-strangeness or anything, when my picture is taken, I get this a whole lot. I could have sent you a lot more of these, but I had to went through and blocked my face out and stuff. But yes, that's what a picture of me comes out to look like a lot of the times. It's very odd, I can't explain it. And we'll take her picture and it's fine.
Right.
Krista, have you seen pictures that this happens in a lot?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
What do you think it is?
It could be anything. I mean, anything from a past loved one to, like you mentioned, the curse, or, it could be a lot of different things.
Well, it is pretty wild.
A lot of questions I'd have for you, try to figure out exactly what it is and why.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's almost like a distortion in the space around these people that's not visible to the naked eye.
It is. And we took several pictures on that particular day because we could actually see it on the phone, so we knew it was happening. So I would take her picture and it's fine, and I'd go somewhere else and walk off, and she'd take my picture, and there it would be.
Yeah.
It's just very odd. Very odd.
Well, I haven't had anything like that happen to me. I have had a few cameras break when Letitia tries to take my picture, so I don't really like doing that.
Well, maybe that was what was going on with me.
I believe we got one or two more pictures to go.
Yes, that's now this is the ancient drawing of the UFO that you said resembled the one that you saw.
Yes, this is a drawing, and I think from the year 15 something, and that, of course, that's all they could do was draw it back then.
I think it's actually a woodcut. But yeah.
Yes, a woodcut, exactly. And they, they were supposed to have seen this battle, and I didn't see any of this other stuff that you see. But when I first laid eyes on this picture and I saw that sun with the curved lines behind it, my heart almost stopped, because I knew they were trying to draw or show what I saw that night when I was hunting. I mean, that's too close of a similarity to be a coincidence, a sun with curved lines behind it. So,
right.
I mean, that's so odd.
I've seen this picture several times before. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's from Germany. On a day that people looked up in the sky, and this is what was filling the sky, these objects. So I believe it's a woodcut from Germany of the things that they saw that day. And so just to let everybody know that didn't hear what I said, brother, tell everyone what religious faith you are.
I am Baptist. Christian Baptist. I like to call myself Christian. I can't really call myself Christian because Christian means Christ-like, and I'm so far from being Christ-like that it's not even funny. I try, of course, I fail, but
that's why Jesus Christ came down and died for our sins and paid the price for us. You can call yourself a Christian, brother. There are no perfect people in this world. There are people who don't care, and there are people who are trying to be better and trying to be more like Christ and do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right?
Exactly right.
Everything that I said, if you only believe one thing that I say, the tenet that I want you to believe is treat others like you would want to be treated yourself. So put others first. So we strive and we struggle to be better every day, but we are Christians, brother. The Baptists are Christians. I'm a Baptist too, but I do consider myself a Christian. And I think that's okay. We're just trying, and we're up here trying to tell the truth when most people don't take the time to do any of this, right? They see something, and
exactly
Tennessee or Kentucky, they're liable not to even tell their own wives what they saw. So we're up here trying
Exactly.
to help people. This is not strictly for entertainment, and to me, it's not for entertainment at all. It's trying to tell the truth, and that way we help our fellow man. That's the only way we can when we have experiences like this. It's the only thing we can do, and I think it's the only thing that we're expected to do. Who believes us and who don't doesn't matter. Like I said, the truth sticks where it's supposed to stick. It slides right off where it's not. So that's what we're doing.
Exactly right, brother.
I appreciate you being brave enough to come on and do this too, brother. It really means a lot. I'm sure you're helping a lot of people by telling them what's going on down there in Tennessee. So,
right, and maybe somebody's had some of this stuff happen to them. Maybe it helps them hearing, that they're not the only one this is happening to. And then again, I always warn all my people, followers and stuff. If you come here, please stay on the trail. Don't get brave and walk off, because the trail will jump out from under you when you're no less than 25 yards off of it. It's gone. You'll never find it sometimes.
Exactly right.
South Force 10, we have a bunch of questions for you. Do you feel like answering questions?
Yeah, shoot.
All right. You got them, Krista?
I got them. Let me go to the top and do them in order.
All right. They're going to come in order. So the way we talk.
Be patient.
Yep.
Maggie Peace asked, SF10, what is the origin of the feral people?
That's a big mystery. People don't really know. They think they were here before the indigenous, before the Indians were here. And then a lot of the other people just try to think, well, maybe this is some of the Cherokee that's, slipped off the Trail of Tears and stayed back in the woods, the forest, because they were afraid to, come out of the forest. But nobody really knows the origin of them. That's why there's such a mystery. Nobody knows exactly where or how they got here. Very strange, very odd.
All right. When someone says feral people, I immediately think of some fellow like you or me who decided to he's had enough civilization and has the means and the presence of mind to just leave it all behind and go into those woods and never come out and live on his own, right? That's what I think. But that certainly doesn't explain them being covered with hair and being deformed and stealing people, to eat them. So it is a big mystery. But all we have right now is our own opinion on the matter, and no one has any proof. And the people who look at you, brother, and say, "Can you prove this? Can you prove that?" They're just showing their own ignorance right there, because these things, you can't prove any of this. All we can do is tell the truth about it.
Exactly right. I get asked that a lot, and that's, I didn't set out to try to prove it or disprove it. More or less, it was just what I knew, and I put it out there. And if they wanted to believe me, they could, and if they didn't, that's fine too.
Right, exactly. And you're right, Brother William. They could be the Moon-Eyed people. We don't really know what they are. The Moon-Eyed people were cave dwellers. And Cherokee legend
speaks
of them, and yeah, we really don't know what they are. So,
no, right. and I offended some of the Cherokee people when I told them that that's what some of these people thought around here, and I didn't mean to offend anyone. I don't, it's just people sitting on the front porch trying to figure out what it could be. So, and I wanted to make sure that I'm not, offending anybody by saying, "Hey, you're the cause of this," because that's not it at all. It's these old people would sit around, scratch their heads, and just say, what if?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I'm glad your husband made it home safe tonight.
Yes.
So good to hear. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I wish I could say hello to each and every one of you wonderful people in the chat room, but unfortunately I can't. So just a hello to everyone again. Thank you for being here tonight, and hope you're enjoying this amazing guest that the good Lord has brought to us. Like I say, I didn't know who South Force 10 was, and he just, next thing I know, he was messaging me and saying, "Hey, I watch your videos and let's talk." So yeah, it's a very, very good thing that's taking place here. And like I say, it's like the Lord's opening the floodgates. So
all right, Chris. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Somebody asked, and I might have missed it because it was in the beginning, since I was late. Any descriptions? And I'm assuming on the feral people. You may have answered, and I apologize.
That's okay.
The best description that I had was when I would ask was deformities and thin, stringy hair. Not the bushy, thick hair that you would be used to seeing on some of the pictures of, say, Bigfoot or something like that. Or even apes or gorillas or whatever. It's more of stringy, long hair. I'm talking, maybe a foot long or something, and just in patches all over them. And then also you would have thin patches and stuff, and probably the deformities probably from the inbreeding and stuff, that goes on.
Mm-hmm. All right. Stingray asked, what did they do with the bodies?
They turned them into these men who would come and collect them, and they would show up in these trucks. Some of them, sometimes it would be a pickup truck with a tarp or like a box truck or something. And they would collect these men, collect their money, and we'll be in touch with you again when we're ready to do this again.
Wow.
Yeah. So what do you tell me? Correct me if I'm wrong, brother, but one of your uncles came upon a half of a body. One of these things he thought was dead, and he loaded up in the truck and it started grinning at him or something like that.
Yes, he thought that one was dead, and he had sat down on the tailgate of his truck. He had drug this thing. They made these old homemade body harnesses that they would drag him out of the woods with, and then he had thrown this thing in the back of his truck, and either he must have just knocked it out or just, it was injured and he thought it was dead, but he was taking his waders off, his boots, and putting his regular boots on when he heard something move. And when he turned around, this thing was actually grinning at him as if it was trying to move. It was shot with a high-powered rifle, but as if it was trying to move. And then he turned around and he shot it again in the back of his truck. He had a big hole in his truck bed where he had shot. So yes.
Wow.
That's bizarre.
Scary stuff.
William asks, were these something like the Tennessee wild man?
They actually referred to them as wild men. They would call them wild men. They'd call them boogers. They'd call them creatures. They called them everything. I think now the Tennessee wild man has gone more toward a Sasquatch instead of just these feral people. But they did use the terminology wild men.
Gotcha.
Wild men for decades. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Bristol asked, any thoughts on the Michael Huron disappearance? Ferals?
I think that's still kind of up in the air if it's the one that I'm thinking of. If he's still missing, not everybody that goes missing would be subject to, say, getting attacked by these things. But it's possible. I mean, it's possible if you go far enough off the trail or you go far enough back by yourself that that could be a very, very good possibility. Yes.
Sure. Absolutely. Elam says, tell them about the Aluminum Bluff Cave Trail.
Okay, that's where supposedly on the Alum Cave Bluff Trail, if you've ever been there, once you get to the cave bluffs, there's a huge drop off that goes off over the mountains, just almost like a cliff that drops straight down. And down in there, that's no man's land. I mean, if you walk off down in there, number one, you can't walk off down in there. But if you was to get off down in there, you'd not be getting back out. It's straight up and it's wooded. And supposedly that's where some of these things would stay. And that there were caves down there. That's what referred to as a cave bluff trail. There was caves down there too in that area. And these things could go back in there. And it actually would be a network of caves back in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Martin Groves asks, which cave do you think is the most active area?
I would say that the Allen Cave Bluff Trail. I'd say now the trail is frequented by a lot of people. That's the trail that goes to Mount LeConte. But just off that trail, like I said, is no man's land. And I think down in there, once you get down in there, I think that's where most of them stayed, and most of them still stay.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any, and I do think there's some left. That's where they would be.
All right.
Hello, Bubba. How you doing tonight, man? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Ristall, Hellbent Holler, Gary Spice, Chris Phoenix. Yeah, so many good people in the chat tonight.
There is. Fisher of Spam asked, was the mind speak female sounding?
From the mind speak being female, there was no sound really male or female. It's like a conscious voice. And then I've heard that from a lot of people, that it's like if you imagine a voice in your mind, that's what people get, and there's no gender to it at all, just a voice that you would hear, kind of like your own conscience. When you have a thought, there's really not a sound to it.
Okay. Next question. Did you say how much the bounty was?
No, I often asked that and I couldn't get no answer. And I honestly think possibly the reason why is different people got paid different money. And, they didn't want to start no fight with each other, be out there shooting each other. So nobody, I think, was allowed to reveal what their bounty was. Or they may have all got the same thing and they just didn't want to tell me. But no, they wouldn't. They more or less said it wasn't worth it for the work they had to do. But it beat starving to death back in the day. So,
yeah.
Icebox asked, is there a possibility that Dennis was absolved into feral life? Just curious.
No, I doubt
I don't know. So we don't know what the feral people are or what they're doing or how they're living.
Right.
So
I don't know that they would teach him. I don't know how they are with their own. So I don't even know how, to take somebody in like that. I mean, anything's possible.
Right.
Right.
All we have is our opinions, right?
That's right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
Okay. PGene63 asks, do you think there's a group that hunts these things to keep their population under control nowadays?
That's a possibility. It could be a very good possibility. I know at different times in the park, they shut different trails down, and they've always got a reason. There's bear activity over here, or there's wildflowers over here blooming, and we don't want nobody around, and they'll shut different areas down. Sure. And it don't necessarily have to be the park property, the boundary of the park. People are allowed to hunt in the boundaries of the park, in certain parts. So it's a good possibility. Yes, very good possibility that they could be.
Right. Okay.
There's a lot of stories coming out now too, and I'm not sure whether to believe them or not, about government hired contract killers that go kill these Inhumanoids.
Right. I wondered about it too.
Sure. Yeah. The Inhumanoids that my family encountered cannot be killed by bullets, because if they could, we would have killed one in 1975. There would be no mystery at all about them right now. So,
exactly. It'd be solved now.
Right.
Danita asks, does this guest have paranormal stuff at home?
Yes. I have things happen here. I told Barton a story the other night, the stuff that happened. But yes, I have a lot of stuff happen here off and on. It's not like a constant thing, like with some of the shows you watch, like maybe Amityville Horror or The Conjuring. It's not something like that constantly. But yes, there's been times that stuff happens, and then times that it doesn't happen.
Sure.
And my wife, she was a non-believer, and you'd ask her now, and she'd say she still is. But her mother was here one night, and something took its hand, and pushed her on her back up close to her mother, and she thought it was me. She turned around and there was nobody there at all.
Wow.
Yeah. We had a lot happen during that time when her mother was here.
Wow. Spiritual Odyssey asked, have you ever seen stairs going nowhere in the middle of the woods in the mountains?
No, I have not myself seen that. I've seen stacked, like people try to build stairs, or I've seen like old stairs to some old cabins, where the cabin would be long, rotted away, but the stairs, there'd be 3 or 4 steps there to it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than anything like that, I haven't. No.
Gotcha.
I haven't either, brother. And I'm beginning to wonder if it's even real. I've seen what's left of steps that's going up to, like in the LBL, we see the concrete steps still there, but the building's gone. But never a stairway to nothing. So
No.
I'm not even sure that's a real thing or not. If it is, then I'll stand corrected, and I'm going to stand corrected here in just a few minutes. So, but if anyone ever does see that, well, that's something I had to say and tell everyone. But if anyone ever does see that, please take a picture. And
please do.
It's just creepypasta type stuff.
Yeah. Next question. Colonel Davis asked, have you heard of the people who have come up missing from the Cosby side of the Smokies?
Yes. People, and the Cosby side of the Smokies is very thick. It's, if not thicker than the side where I live on. It is very, very thick. And yes, there's people who go, there's not as many tourists over there that go missing, but you have locals who go out there and go missing. But yes, if you've ever been through I-40 across those mountains and you look back through there for miles and miles, there's nothing but just woods. But yes, I've heard of people going missing over there on that side also.
Gotcha.
Brother, there's places in Tennessee and Kentucky where I'm certain, 100% certain, that no white man has ever set foot on. Right? There's so many valleys and hills and valleys and streams. There's no way it could all be explored. And that's what I used to do when I was a younger man, is I would go to these places and just start exploring and walking these streams way up into the mountains. And we'd pass by cabins with no electricity, no running water, right? So
yes, I used to do that myself. Yeah, there was nothing to do around here, off the strip. So me, myself, or me and my buddies, we would go as far back in these woods as we could go, and you'd encounter stuff that you just, if you told people, they wouldn't believe you and think you was crazy. But yes.
Right.
Yes.
Ania asked, I'd like to ask South Force 10 if he believes the Gatlinburg fires were caused to exterminate the creatures. And
go ahead. You got some more?
Well, she just said if this is trigger worthy or could get Barton's channel in trouble. You asked everything correctly, so no.
Yeah.
Good question.
No, I don't. There was too much come into play for that. We had the worst drought that we'd ever had, and then we had the wind, the hurricane winds and stuff, and all that just had to be the perfect storm. That's something you couldn't plan. That you just couldn't make happen. So I think it's coincidence, and I think it probably run some of them back in the woods and stuff. But no, I don't think that was how it happened, because they could have potentially lost all of Gatlinburg, in that.
Yeah. Last question. Cryptidville asked, how many times have you died or had near-death experiences?
I had a near-death experience when I was young. I almost drowned. My best friend pushed me in the pool. He's also the one who jumped in and got me out. But that's the only time that I remember being that close to death. One time with my mom in the car, we had an accident, and I was riding on the door. We had, again, this was one of the times that we had heard a warning. Me and my mom was going down what we call Park Road here, and we could hear something, and we couldn't make out what it was saying. It was just, if you've ever heard a cow in the field bawling, just like that. and we kept hearing this sound over and over. And at first I thought a cat was in the car, maybe. So I rolled the window down and I got outside and I had my butt sitting on the door, where the window goes down. I had my arms on top of the roof of the car listening, see if I could hear it outside the car. And about that time, she grabs my leg and yanks me in. There's a car coming just head on for us. And we go off in the ditch and flip up on the passenger side where I was out just then. And my mom told me that was a warning. She said that was a warning that we were going to get hit head on. Because after the wreck, we never heard it again. But we heard it for 2 miles constantly all the way to where we was going.
Wow.
That's bizarre.
Wow.
That was the end of the questions.
All right.
Okay. Was anything else that you'd like to add, brother?
No.
Conclusions that you'd like to share with us or anything like that?
I'm thankful for the followers and the people who follow our channel, and I'm thankful for you guys and the people out here who go out here and they tell the truth and they investigate. Like I say, they're not the ones who walk 5 miles out of their front door and something gets after them every time they go out. And maybe that's just for entertainment. Maybe people like that, but I'm just thankful for the followers who believe me and trust what I say and go on with what I say. I ain't got no reason to make any of this up. I don't get any money. I don't charge for any of my videos because I don't really do any experiments, or I don't go out and do anything, so there's no need for me to ask for money for people because I only make a video just every now and then when I've got time. So I'm just thankful that they believe what I say and believe what I do.
So, brother, other than that bear skin that the witnesses saw walking around someone's shoulder, do you know if these feral people wear clothing at all?
Rhonda would like to know.
Yes, Rhonda would like to know that.
Other than the skins is all that I know was found on them when they would hunt them, and I don't think that was very often. I think they didn't, for the most part, didn't wear clothes, until it got on down probably cold. I do know they covered themselves in mud. I'm assuming that was for the bugs or something because they would say that they would be covered in mud and possibly some feces that they would cover themselves in. Don't know why. But yes, I'd heard them tell that they would cover themselves up in that. And no, as far as I know, just a few skins and that was it.
Well,
it's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in here, and it's a lot of it's hidden from us, even though it's in plain sight. It's hidden from us because we're taught not to question authority. We're taught not to believe our eyes. And Rhonda, say hello to Fred for me, if you will, hon. I'm glad to see you guys tonight. And South Forest, I can't thank you enough for coming on here, and I'm honored that you thought enough of me to come and want to do a show with me. It's a great honor to be able to talk to you.
Oh yeah, man. I've listened to your stuff, and listened to your interviews and your live stream, and I've come to the conclusion that if they don't like you, they probably won't like me either.
Right. Well, we're all brothers in Christ, and we know how to defeat these things. You have the power to defeat them, and that's the only way that you can defeat them. I'm telling you right now. Other than that, we're powerless, and if you're not a man with some kind of spiritual foundation, then you might end up being a victim to these things that's walking around our crazy world that we live in.
Exactly.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on, and if you ever want to come back on and talk some more, you're more than welcome. The invitation's out there. It's been a great show, and I have an announcement to make before we do the giveaways. So to everyone who this might come as a shock. Well, I know it's going to come as a shock to a lot of people. So if you recall the video I put up a couple months ago, the lady who filmed the portal. So I have to be honest. I'm about the truth. That's all I'm about. And right now, I'm about 95% sure that video was a reflection of her hands on the windshield of the car. So just wanted everybody to know that. And I'm really amazed that I've looked at that video hundreds of times over the last 7 months. I've sent it to dozens and dozens of people. Not a single one said they thought it was a reflection. Excuse me. And I put it on the show, and I had some of the most amazingly intelligent viewers out there, and they knew immediately what it was. They said, "Hey, Bart, that's a reflection of this woman's hand holding the phone." So I want to thank you guys for doing that. And this is how we learn, right? This should be a lesson to everyone, and about our perceptions and how we learn and grow and help each other. So you guys, I'm pretty sure that you're all right about being a reflection. Mm-hmm. There was no intent to deceive anyone. This woman has so many problems going on that video was the least of her problems. And hopefully.
Well, thank you, Bart, for coming back and letting everybody know.
Right. That's what I'm here for. I'm just to tell you the truth. And I honestly believe that it was some type of Inhumanoid that she had filmed, and so did dozens and dozens of other people. Some of the smartest people I know. I sent the video to the smartest people that I know, basically. And we all looked at it for 7 months, and we all come to the wrong conclusion. But as soon as I put it up here on this channel, I was just amazed. I'm amazed that people saw it immediately for what it was, right? So thank you guys for doing that. You know who you are. Those who did it respectfully, you're still here to hear these words from me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm only human. You know, hopefully I'll live to be wrong hundreds of more times, but I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. So those of you who did that respectfully, I tip my hat to you. Those who did it condescendingly and accusatory to everyone involved, we're no longer here to hear this. So that's everybody treat each other with a little bit of respect, shall we?
Amen.
Yep. I apologize too, because I watched the video and I looked and
hundreds of times, and I never saw the reflection. And so to see the reflection, here's what you have to do. You have to look at this creature, this Inhumanoid creature that she's filmed, and realize that the right arm of this creature, the wristband, it had wristbands on its arms, right? So the wristband on its right arm is her thumbnail. She's holding the camera with her left hand, right? And she's doing this with her other hand. So that's what it is. And thanks to everyone who tried to set me right. And thank you to the ones who did set me right. I appreciate you greatly. I appreciate your respect and your kindness. And this is how we do it. This is how we grow and learn from each other.
Yep.
So we want to say, if you have any roofing needs at all, let's not forget, put that up there, honey. Larry Fisher and Sons Roofing. He will come take care of you no matter where you are, no matter what state you live in. I think he has crews and even in Hawaii and Canada and even in Africa. So if you have any kind of roofing problem, come see Larry. Give him a call. He'll take care of you. So
I wish I'd done that last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, brother. So we're gonna give some stuff away now. The first thing we're going to give away is a hat. So from my good friends over at Hellbent Holler, Joe and Jesse Dole. So you guys can see that. Look how nice that hat is. And they give me two of them. And Letitia doesn't wear hats. So I thought I would give this away. Joe and Jesse, I hope you don't mind. Everybody go subscribe to Joe and Jesse's channel and the Blondes and Booze and everyone that you see that's associated with our channel, which including South Force 10 now. Please give them a chance, right? There's just a small group of us out here doing this, and we need all the help we can get because everything is against the truthers, everything. So, Krista, how are we going to do this giveaway?
So we're gonna do like a little raffle. So everybody bear with us. It's been a little while since I've done this, but when I tell you the keyword, everybody who types in the keyword will give everybody, a certain amount of time, and then I'll hit draw and it randomly picks. So you will have to type in the keyword. So you just let me know when you're ready, Bart. And
I'm ready.
Wait, does it have to be capitalized or no?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Can you put any keyword in there? Let's put hat in there, Krista.
Well, I already had to put them in there.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to be able to tell by my words, I'm hungry.
Okay. Let's cheeseburger. Let's put in there.
Pretty much. So hold on. Let me share my screen. I got to share
Okay.
screen with you.
And this is for the Hellbent Holler hat.
Hellbent Holler hat. If you want a Hellbent Holler hat, if you love Joe and Jesse like we do, then type in
Pizza.
pizza. Oh, that's good. We all love pizza. Type in pizza, guys. If you want a chance to win this hat, type it on in there.
Yeah, there's some good people over there at Hellbent Holler. I messaged Joe all day today. They're some really good down to earth folk.
Joe and Jesse are some of the best friends that we've ever had, and we love them like our own family. And they are a part of our extended family, our Brotherhood of the Wolf Club. And you're gonna have to come down sometime, brother, and meet us at the LBL and become a member of this great club we got going on. It's really something special.
I'll do it sometime, brother. It sounds like fun.
And we're already there in Tennessee, so I know it's probably 3 or 4 hours away from you. But if you can do that sometime, we'll sit around a campfire and tell some tales and go out looking for that beast.
Sounds like fun. We'll plan it sometime. Yes, sir.
Right.
Tell me when to draw. You just
okay,
tell
everybody.
me.
10 seconds. Type in pizza if you want this hat.
We don't know it's 10 seconds.
I'll tell
Tell
you.
her when to draw.
Yep. Tell me when to start doing it.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. Type in pizza, guys. 1.
Draw.
Okay, draw, Krista. Who's going to be the lucky winner of this hat? It's a very handsome hat, very well made. Cassie Crow.
Congratulations.
Cassie.
Congratulations, Cassie.
We need you to send all your information to lmsmith1970@hotmail.com.
Right, and we'll get this hat out to you, Cassie. Thank you for being here, hon. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
So, Hellbent Holler, Cassie Crow.
Okay.
All righty.
All right, what's next, hon?
Next, we went to a conference in Tennessee not too long ago. We got a couple of these posters. And since we don't have room for 2 of them, we have a poster of what is sorry, it's got a little dust on it. This is Joe DeWolf from Hellbent Holler and Martin Groves.
Brother Martin, Bubba. You guys see that?
Awesome.
That's at the Wild Man Tennessee Conference.
Right. I'm sorry, I don't think it's autographed, but
No.
I didn't have the foresight to have my Wolf brothers autograph that. I'm sorry, but it's a nice poster.
Yep.
And it's a really cool caricature of Joe and Martin. So if you guys want a chance to win this poster, what are we gonna say, Krista? Keyword.
All right. Let me share my screen here again. The next word is going to be taco.
Oh,
Wow, you really are hungry, aren't you?
I told you.
I want some tacos now.
Okay, everybody type in taco. If you want a chance to win this poster, it's a really, really cool poster. And we were lucky to get a couple of them. Taco. Brother, Bubba, you don't have a poster of yourself?
I see in there too, yeah.
Well, he's going to get a chance. I hope you win it if you don't have it.
He probably has it.
He has a great sense of humor. Love Martin Groves. He's another Wolf brother, just like Krista's our Wolf sister. And the brotherhood growing. It's by invitation only, so you can't just come down and be a member. I have to invite you myself. So I only invite the people that I know are just great people and an outstanding character. So
Hi, Mickey G.
Hi, Mickey G. Yes. All it's asked of you when you're a member of the Brotherhood is that all your words be true and all your ambitions be honorable. Right? That's all we ask. Taco, 10 seconds. Taco. Taco for the poster. 10 seconds, guys. Type it in there.
You know what would have been cool? The person who made that poster, if they would have had the creature take the mask off and it be Jesse under the mask, like the old Scooby-Doo.
That was Randy
chasing them off.
Randy Hutchins had that done. And he's putting on another conference, but unfortunately I won't be able to make it to this one because Letitia has to work, and I'm not going anywhere without my wife.
All right, Krista,
okay, here
draw.
We go. Draw it, Krista. Who gets this handsome poster here? Elam Freelance. Congratulations, Elam.
All right.
Congratulations, Elam.
Make sure you send me your information. lmsmith1970@hotmail.com. If somebody will put that in there for me, I'd appreciate that.
And Brother Martin, if you don't have one of those posters, I'll give you my other one, okay? So you can hang it up on your wall. Okay, the last thing we have.
I don't have a picture of Martin and Joe.
Well, I'll just have to draw him one myself, I guess. But the last thing we have a giveaway tonight. I know it's getting late. Everyone has to work tomorrow. We have a hat that was given to us by Josh Turner with PRT. You guys check him out. Check his channel out. Subscribe, like, share.
It is a brand new Inhumanoids hat.
All right, I don't know if you can see it very good, but you see the logo there. It's got my drawing of a werewolf.
That's nice.
Yeah. Josh commissioned me to do that for his first conference down in Paris, Tennessee. So if you guys want to win this Inhumanoids hat, what's the word this time, Crystal?
It is
mac and cheese.
No, actually it's not. Let's go to it. This word is fries.
Fries. Okay, much easier to type than mac and cheese. Hey, you guys, you want the hat? Want a chance to win this hat? Type in fries right now. And thank you, Brother Josh, for donating that to us. We got a few shirts too. We're going to give away a couple of them in the near future.
We're waiting.
Oh, I love his show too.
We're waiting to hit 7,000 subscribers, and when we hit, we're going to have a big giveaway.
And real quick, Bigfoot Michigan Rob is 2 subscribers away from 3,500.
Right.
Oh wow, let's get over there, guys. 2 subscribers. Go to Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob and subscribe to his channel. He's a really great guy. I've met him twice and just love him to death.
And I'll make a deal with you. If he gets them before we get off this live, I'll give away one more hat.
You're going to have to give me a chance to make another thing up.
That's fine. If you don't care to do it.
I don't mind.
2 subscribers. That's all he needs.
2 subscribers. Let's go to Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. You couldn't find a better person. He is awesome.
Yep.
So get over there and sub to him right now. He is part of our little community that we have growing here of truthers and not BSers. So, all right, Krista, here we go.
All righty.
Yeah. And the winner is Smurfy. Oh, congratulations, Sister Smurfy.
Congratulations, Smurfy.
Yay. Make sure you send me your information.
Yeah.
Now we got to just find out from BMR if he's got his subscribers before we get off here tonight.
And someone told me that, did we put Sister Smurfy on our prayer list? So that was Sparky, right?
That was
okay.
Yeah, Sparky.
Sometimes you get those mixed up. But thanks everyone. We really appreciate you coming out. We had a great discussion tonight with South Force 10. Officially welcoming into our little paranormal family here. Only the best. Right, only the best of the best will be associated with any of us. So welcome South Force, and we welcome again Sherry Griffey and her daughter Nikki into the Brotherhood of the Wolf. Welcome, Wolf Sisters. We sure appreciate y'all.
And I'm checking to see if BMR got his.
I was just looking too.
Okay.
Yep, he is. He says 3502 thanks, but keep
There we go.
subscribing. LOL.
We give away another hat here. Thank
All
you guys for doing that. We really appreciate you. If we all stick together, we can make a difference. We can tear down these walls that the elites and the globalists have put up behind us to the truth of humanoid creatures. So let's stick together and we can do it. Okay. So let's give away this one more hat before we get off here. I know everyone has to work tomorrow. I got to get up at 4:30 a.m. But you guys are worth it.
All right. Share screen. This word is pretty simple. It is BMR.
All right.
BMR. Okay. Type in BMR. You guys want this hat? Second chance to get an Inhumanoids hat.
Hey, Chris, that's been happening a lot lately. A lot of people are getting unsubscribed from people's channels.
Yes.
Everybody just make sure when you go on, check to make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure your notifications are turned on. It's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, make sure you hit that notification bell because sometimes I get a wild hair and I go out and do live streams by myself and I fall into creeks and all kinds of stuff that, it's should be posted under comedy. But yeah, notification bell so you don't miss any of that exciting content. So BMR, type it in there, you guys. We give you 10 more seconds, okay? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Krista, who's going to be the winner? Donna Stokes.
All right.
All right. Congratulations.
Donna.
Congratulations, Donna.
Excellent. I love these giveaways. It's so fun. I wish we had a room full of stuff we could just give away.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yes. Thank you. Let's thank everyone who's donated.
Well, I have one more announcement, and you don't even know this yet.
Uh-oh.
So, guys, we've been talking for a long time about what we're going to call ourselves.
This makes me nervous, actually.
Okay. We've had a lot of suggestions on what we're going to call ourselves. We have the boosters, we have the pirates, we have the hellbenders, we have the paratroopers, and now we have the Inhumanoids. We're sticking with the Inhumanoids.
Well, that's simple enough, I guess.
Everybody knows us as the Inhumanoids, so welcome to the Inhumanoids family, guys.
Right, so that's what we're going to call ourselves, I guess. So thank you for deciding that, honey.
We decided it.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay.
After all my hard work on our thumbnails.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. I don't know if you want me to say your real name, brother, but thank you for that. We appreciate
Thank you so much. All right. Can we go to the gifts? I mean, the donations.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Make sure we thank everyone for that. Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob. Thanks, brother. We appreciate you. DJ Tyler. Appreciate you too, brother. Thank you so much. Happy Wednesday to you. Welcome, Gary Spike Sr. Thank you for becoming a member.
Blondes
and Blues, but thank you so much.
I love you guys.
Hugs and kisses. The godfather of the SEC. Thank you so much. Southeastern Conference, I guess that means. I'm not sure. Brother Larry. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Fisher Spam. We appreciate you too, brother. Thank you for the Shasta Fund. No.
Thank you, Paul.
We will not be buying any Shasta with that. That's going to go to improve the quality of the channel and the videos that we're creating here. We're trying to improve, and I think we'll get there. We're never going to be as slick as Josh Turner or Joe and Jesse or anything like that. We're going to be always going to be raw and real.
I did buy some editing software with the donations that you all have sent. I'm working on them. I need a little time. I've never done it before, but I've got some pretty cool things fixed up so far.
Got some great stuff in store for y'all. So y'all hang around. Thank you, Hawk. Appreciate you, Merle. We've been friends forever. We're going to have to get you on the show sometime. I know that you've had a lot of experiences. Gwen Hunt, thank you, hon. We appreciate you for this. We appreciate that super sticker. And thank you so much. Hope everybody's doing good down there. I'm looking forward to your husband's email. Tell him not to forget now.
Truthy Ruthie, thank you so much.
You're
always there for us.
Thank you for your generosity. Tim, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Liberty. You're always there for us.
Yes.
Catherine, thank you.
Yes.
We have the best group of people. I know everybody said, well, thank you again, Larry.
Thanks again, Brother Larry, for your generosity.
Everybody says we have the best group. Well, this group seems to have all of the same people in all of our groups. So, yes, absolutely. We do have the best.
We do have the best people.
Thank you, DJ.
Right. Best people in all of YouTube land are right here at the shows that we're part of. So
thank you again, DJ.
Yes, thank you, DJ. Jerry, thank you, brother. Thank you for the super sticker.
And that was the end of them.
All right. Thanks, everybody, so much.
Yes. Thank you for showing up tonight. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, South Force 10, for being a fantastic guest. It's a real honor to talk to you. And I know we'll be talking again soon. So,
yes, sir. I loved it. Loved it. Loved talking to you all, man. I don't get out of Hog Holler much, but I enjoyed tonight. I sure did. And all the people.
Yes. Well, I tell you what, if you can't get out of Hog Holler, we might have to bring the LBL to you. So
hey, there we go. There's an idea. Sounds good, brother. Anytime you're down this way, you holler at me.
I'll do that. And same invitation goes for you. Anytime you're up here and you guys want to visit, we have plenty of room. We've had visitors before, overnight guests, so everyone was very comfortable, and we had a great time. So anytime you're up around this area, you give me a holler, okay?
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. God bless you and your lovely wife, and we'll see you again soon, bro.
All right, brother. Holler at me tomorrow.
All right, I'll do that. Have a good one.
All right, brother. See you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. So you want to say bye to everybody?
Yes, so that was, I hope you guys enjoyed South Force 10. He's really a wonderful fellow. And we sure appreciate you coming tonight, spending a little time with us. We're honored and humbled that so many people would come and take time out of their lives to listen to what we're saying over here at Inhumanoids. So thank you all. God bless each and every one of you. Be nice to one another. And remember, a lot of bad things are getting ready to happen. So don't be scared. Be prepared. Get Jesus Christ in your life. He is the answer and the only answer. So everybody have a great night. And hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday night. Same time, same channel.
Good night, everybody. Go check out Ponds and Booze tomorrow night and Friday night.
Yes.
See y'all.
Good night.
Good night.